how police captured the Texas church assassin. What? Oh yeah, polygraph tests aren't that reliable. Like if you watch like a Batman movie or like the CIA video about that guy, what was his name? John Kiriakou. He had like this thing where it was like he had to do a polygraph test, and one of the things he said, I saw this because I get the shorts now. It was like when they ask you questions on a polygraph test, don't think about it, just answer, and it will be like correct or wrong. Because you can just be like, oh yes or no. Like even in the Arrow, they depict how like with Oliver Queen, the Arrow, Green Arrow, they're like, there's this like polygraph testing where they're like asking him if he ever went to like a jail before, and then he's like no, and then the polygraph says it's true, and then they're like, that's a lie. He went there as a class trip, because sometimes school takes you to prison to like learn what it's like, so that they like a scared straight tactic. That's what they do there. Yeah.
Pastor, how are you, sir?
Thank you for coming out here.
Inside this church in May, Texas, locals are gathering to mourn the tragic death of 25-year-old Shante Blankenship. Somewhere within...
That's my age. If this is going to be scary now, it's going to hit her closer to home. I don't like this.
This crowd is Shantae's killer, hiding in plain sight and watching town folks pointing suspicions in all directions.
Has she had problems with anybody?
There's this guy Colin. We used to have problems because he used to ride around with them and stuff.
Whoever it is a pretty sick person, and they're still out there somewhere. I think it's your boyfriend going.
You know, she's a good-looking girl, and that makes me a dirty old man. I think that's what was said.
As detectives exhaust every lead, the case eventually goes cold, leaving this small community questioning if any one of them might be the next victim. Yet, for over a year, one unusual witness sits quietly unnoticed, holding the answer detectives had been hunting for all along.
He was so devious and smart. He just didn't know that that was going to be the thing that would finally catch him.
The actions that we're showing on this is, man, you're off the freaking charts.
And here he is, right in front of us. How did I miss that?
It's May 15th in the small town of May, Texas.
Wait. All of the footage is real? Like this is an actual thing that happened?
Nearly 48 hours have passed since 25-year-old Shante Blankenship mysteriously vanished after going on her usual evening walk. Since then, church volunteers have searched tirelessly for any sign of her, until this Sunday morning, around 11 a.m., when one couple stumbles upon something.
What's the location of your emergency?
I have no idea where I'm at. I am in the middle of nowhere. We were looking for Shante Blankenship.
Okay.
We found her.
Okay.
It's
Ay, caramba.
Stay real still for me, okay? I'm going to try to ping your location.
It's actually the old haunted house is what everybody calls it.
Is she okay? Does she need any medical attention?
Is she alive? She's dead.
Oh,
God.
Okay, yeah, I've got everybody headed that direction, okay?
Right away, the Brown County Sheriff's Office dispatches 2 patrol deputies to the caller's location, an abandoned farmhouse nearly 25 miles away. Once they arrive, they find Charlie and Jackie anxiously pacing outside, ready to go into detail about the gruesome discovery they had just made inside.
We're just driving around looking for her. They did everybody met at 3 at the church to go look for her, and we were just driving around. We looked at every creek and culvert we could find.
The peel-out marks were already here.
Those over there, yeah.
I've seen those tracks, and they pulled in it. They didn't go on through. They were just stopped.
These aren't y'all's?
No, this is the vehicle we're in.
Are those
over to the gate?
Are those your shoe prints?
Probably mine.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's stay over here on the rocks and not walk around where there's any footprints.
Don't let them leave there till I get out there, please.
10-4, they're waiting for everybody.
To the deputies, this discovery immediately raises questions. The farmhouse sits miles out of town, in an isolated location that many locals don't even know exists. So, while they wait for additional officers to arrive...
I mean, he said they don't know that they exist, right? But it's dubbed like the haunted house. Like, if it's dubbed something, there has to be like something about it that makes them dub this, you know? Because they don't just have like a random name for a place. It has to be given from the local, which is why it's called the haunted house. Oh, wrong button.
The deputy begins pressing for answers, trying to understand how this couple ended up here in the first place.
How long did I guess y'all called immediately when y'all found her?
Oh yeah.
Which gate did y'all jump?
I walked around the house. I didn't see nothing in there. And I went out to all the outbuildings.
Do what?
I walked around in the house.
Uh-huh.
I didn't see nothing in there and went to all the outbuildings.
Yeah.
And I was coming back, and that storm shelter there had a bunch of grass knocked down. So I run around and looked, and there she is. She's upside down in there, and she is beat. I got a daughter that age. She's naked as Jaybird. All she got on is that white shirt she was running around in Friday when I seen her. If I get my hand on them, she's done that. I tell you that right now, Fletcher. I told them bastard. Nobody. She had the mentality of a 9-year-old.
There's an old house back there.
Oh man. Oh man, oh me, oh my. Like, there are some things that happen and it's like very scary. Like, this is one of the situations where like, how do you get over it? How do you get through that situation? It's like one of the scariest situations ever. It's actually impossible to go through.
They apparently all met up at the church earlier at North Lake, and they were just coming out driving around looking. She's in a cellar.
You serious?
Yeah. Well, said they were just out looking for places.
That old gray house.
Yeah, I think so. They said they found hair laying out on the ground. They're like, what the heck is that? So they've already picked it up. It's like, that ain't cow hair or anything. And they were wandering around and they found her in the cellar. The gate's locked, so we'll have to cut it. But there's tire tracks that pull in there and then pull straight back out.
Fresh tracks?
Yeah, like today fresh.
Indeed, these are very fresh marks, planting a terrifying thought in the deputies' minds that Shantae's killer could be somewhere nearby, keeping a close eye on the area. Shortly afterward...
Okay, but what about the people who were there already? Like the two people who were already there. Maybe it's their tracks. Like, what?
More units begin arriving at the scene.
You know, there's like a bunch of like gaps and like the things he's saying. Like, he didn't like... Sometimes I feel like some of the videos that are like done, there's like gaps in like what they're saying. Especially like in this thing, there's tire tracks. How do you know that the people who were there aren't the ones who did this? You know, like they drove their car up to this point and then reversed it back. You know?
Planting a terrifying thought in the deputies' minds that Shantae's killer could be somewhere nearby, keeping a close eye on the area. Shortly afterward, more units begin arriving at the scene, including the crime scene photographer. And as the deputies prepare to head towards the body's location, they'll soon realize that whatever the couple told them is nothing compared to what they're about to see.
Oh, hell no.
Wire. Yeah. So it's on your gun. There you go. You're good.
You know, like every time I see like police sirens, I used to have a thought in my mind because I used to watch a show called The Mentalist. And you'd see like different like things. I'm pretty sure in, like the first episode is something similar to this. Not like the pilot, like the episode after the pilot is like something similar to this. And it's like, okay, when you watch a show, you know it's fake. But when you're in reality and you're looking at this in real life, you know how like different it must feel, like excruciating it must feel for this. And these are cops that have to deal with this like a lot. Like, this might be, like, a common occurrence that happens for them that they have to deal with. Like, the notion of that is scary.
Alright, here, John, hold this. I'll step up here and I'll grab the camera and hold it.
The bracelet's laying right on the other side.
Why is it always that I see that there's, like, a photographer or, like, the thing? It's always a Nikon camera. Why is that?
Yeah. Okay, he said there's a little bracelet right here on the other side of the gate. He said, yeah, right.
I thought it was just personal choice.
There's one of those wristbands, those little rubber bands like this one. It looks, the way this grass is right here, like someone's been through it recently or something. Knife laying on the ground. I don't know. Looks like it's been there a little while.
Yeah, it's been there a while, but we'll go ahead and photograph it just in case.
I don't see any blood anywhere though. I haven't seen drops.
I know this is like not relative, but it's the only way it can keep myself from going like insane when I watch these type of videos. You know, you can turn off the shutter sound when you like click. You can turn it off. We were like doing like we were doing like photography for like an event. We were doing something. We had to record something and had to take pictures. But I was taking pictures. They were like, "Oh, could you turn off the audio for your shutter?" And I didn't know this. I was like, the first time I heard somebody say that, I was like, "You can turn it off." Because you know, like in some phones, like in Japan, is like your phones have to make the shutter sound when they take the pictures, even when you put it on do not disturb or like you mute the audio. Like my phone, right? If I have it on like audio, hey look, can you hear this? Right, let me see. You can hear it, but if I mute it, I take the picture. Oh wait, no, wrong one. I muted I mute system. You mute system? Look, nothing. Look. No audio. Nothing.
I wonder if someone pulled around to the back side of this house where it wasn't as obvious.
Yeah. Let's just follow the...
We'll follow the dirt tracks. The grass disturbed. She don't have any pants on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Video here. I want to say he said he pulled this metal
Tin back.
We need to find out. I mean, because you can
Okay,
see.
I have to ask. Is this video, this doesn't look like body cam footage. It's too high quality. Oh, they upgraded their body cams. It's not the one with the accent on the right. Look. We look on the side of this side of the screen. It's not here. So it's probably like an upgraded one. I just realized. You could literally get it in HD. I don't know why they don't do this. Probably because cloud storage, but you could just compress it.
Right through here. Man, this grass is still thick. There's not gonna be any prints. This metal right here.
I mean, this is in 4K.
We'll need to process probably, or I would say. Here's another pink man right here, John.
Audio quality is also very good.
It's a legit homicide, it looks like.
There's blood all on that rock right there. Once all your guys get out here, I'm sure.
Obviously, this is like educational purposes.
Sure that there's not something inside.
You know what's
here
crazy?
either.
You know what's crazy? Imagine in criminology. Oh my god. Imagine in criminology, and this is like the videos you have to watch in class. Then you have to like do a full detailed analysis, and this guy does it for like YouTube, for like people to understand what it is and explain more digestively. This would like help a lot in the future. Like people like get so well educated. Like the cop stop is like, obviously they call it cop stop, but watching these things make it so much understandable how different things happen. And like, let's be honest, if you watch these type of videos, it's more likely you don't do any of these things and you're like, you know, a good person compared to like ending up doing this, because then you see how like scary it is, and it's like a deterrent, you know. It works well in that case. Also, it gives like education on how like bad some people could be, and you know, you have to be careful. That's why like when you have like when you're with your like parents and there's like these things where they like teach you how to like interact with people and how to talk to people and what you should do in different situations, and there are like classes when you're a kid. This is why.
Yeah.
On the ground, halfway inside the cellar, lies Shantae's deceased and partially clothed body, beaten so severely that she is almost unrecognizable. Beside her is a broken lawnmower blade stained with blood. Its condition and placement leave investigators with little doubt that they're looking at the murder weapon. All of it, the secluded location, the sheer brutality of the attack, and the way Shantae's body is positioned leave deputies wondering just what kind of a deranged person could have done this. Following this, Shantae's body is taken away for autopsy while officers clear the abandoned house. Inside, they find trash, empty alcohol bottles, and decay, but no blood or signs of a struggle. The next step for investigators is to speak with the remaining search volunteers, so they release the couple who found the body, instructing them not to tell anyone about the discovery to avoid alerting the killer. But that's easier said than done, because for Brown County, discoveries like this carry a familiar weight, as the area has been no stranger to tragedy. In 1989, 13-year-old Amanda Goodman was abducted while walking home from school and murdered. 7 years later, in 1996, 30-year-old Juan Laurels was found shot to death beside his burning car. Decades later, both cases remain unsolved. And even more recently, police recovered the remains of 2 missing residents in remote areas of Brown County. So while investigators hope to keep details of Shantae's murder from spreading, in a town this small, news travels extremely fast. And investigators are about to learn that the hard way.
And this is the church, North Lake.
Because May, Texas is a deeply religious community, the search for Shantae has been organized through the local North Lake Community Church. So investigators head there, but by the time they arrive, the situation has already changed dramatically. A volunteer firefighter has just...
It's also a very small community, so like word travels very fast around the area. Like, you know, if you live in like in a small area, everybody knows who you are. Even if you don't like interact with them before, they know about your existence. Because you're in the area, because they see you in and out of the place all the time.
Informed Shantae's family that her body has been found, putting deputies at a significant disadvantage. And as the deputy approaches the church, he's met with uneasy stares from the crowd as he scans the room for any potential suspects.
Okay. All right. I'm just looking.
Oh.
I'm just making observations.
Oh, appreciate it.
The crowd.
Thank you.
You're not doing what, sir? Okay, that's fine. All right, come on. Hey, folks, could you have your attention just a minute? Folks, hello, ladies, gentlemen. If you believe you have information that will assist in this investigation, I ask you don't discuss it with anybody else. I don't want you to mix your notes with anybody else's notes or anybody else's observations. That's important because I want your recollections to be your own. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Pastor? How are you, sir?
You doing okay?
Doing well, sir.
Thank you for coming out here.
You bet.
While the community may not trust the deputy yet, they do trust Pastor Ron Keener. Having spent nearly 5 decades in ministry and years helping local charities, he knows this town inside and out, and having him on their side could prove invaluable to the investigation.
Okay, what do you mean
As
they
the
don't
deputy
trust the
continues
deputy
moving through
though?
the
What does that
church,
mean?
He notices people beginning to leave. With no legal authority to stop them, he urges Pastor Keener to help gather Shantae's family and those closest to her. But as detectives begin speaking with the people who knew Shantae best, one person quickly draws their attention: her boyfriend, John Adams. And as they sit down with him, his behavior would be nothing like what you'd expect from a grieving boyfriend. But before we get to that, it's worth noting that covering stories like this, you realize just how much people are forced to carry. Fear, trauma, even the day-to-day burden of surviving. And sometimes that weight shows up in other ways too, like debt. Do you feel crushed by debt? Those high-interest loans, that mountain of credit card debt? From that said, let's get back to the investigation where Shantae's boyfriend, John, is about to exhibit some behavior the detectives would find highly suspicious.
My name's John Harper. I'm an investigator with Brown County Sheriff's Office.
I don't get in trouble anymore.
What does that mean?
You told me and Frankie Salazar over one time.
No, now I remember who you are. Yes, now I remember who you are. How long have you been with her?
A little over 3 years, October 17th.
Okay. How did you and her get along?
How we got along?
Yeah.
I mean, like, there was times, I ain't gonna lie, we'd argue, I mean, like, but she's not capable of handling things. She has mental problems. I mean, like, she has a habit of yelling and stuff, and I would just try, sometimes I'd leave, and then sometimes I could just talk her out of it and be nice, and she'd calm down. but she just has, I mean, like, how do you say it? She expressed herself different. I mean, like, just, sometimes it was like a wall, but, like, but she showed me love, you know what I mean?
Despite just learning that Shantae has been found dead, John doesn't ask a single question about what happened to her that night, leaving detectives to wonder if he somehow already knows. At this stage, deputies are looking for anyone who may have had a reason to harm Shantae, and without hesitation, John would point investigators towards another man, someone who had just slipped out of the church the moment the deputy arrived.
Anything else you can? Has she had problems with anybody?
There used to be this guy, Colin.
Okay. The whole point here in this discussion of this part right now is like he's not asking questions about what happened. Sometimes there's this thing where like people aren't like thinking about anything. They just blank out. So he's just answering questions sometimes. Because the situation might be so grave that you don't think straight. That is concerning sometimes, because some people, their reaction is to ask what happened, what it is. Yes. But sometimes the shock is so hard, it doesn't sit in that this actually happened. So the way they discuss things is like, you ask questions, I answer your questions. That's what happens sometimes for people who are like too like gone and grieving, like too far aggrieved. Because the weight is so strong of the information that they were just given, that sometimes you cannot process it. Like, it doesn't sit, like it's not real to you. So it doesn't like sit in your head that this happened, you know? So it doesn't register. So you're not thinking straight about, should I ask this question? What is it? Sometimes that happens, yes. Sometimes when you're like a parent or something, the first thing you want to know is, I don't care about anything. I want to know about this person. Right? There's like a difference between like who the person they're talking to is and what their relationship is sometimes.
Guy where?
Colin.
Yeah. What about Colin Smith?
Well, I mean, we used to have problems because she used to ride around with him and stuff, and he used to just do stupid stuff, and he like ride around drunk, stuff like that, and I didn't like that, and me like she'd hang around and stuff, but she pretty much, me and him got into it one time because he came out to the house, and she was drunk there, all drunk. I'm off of work. I mean, I'm thinking, what the hell? And me and her stepdad were out there and straightened out, and I never heard much out. He pretty much turned his nose and let it be.
Okay.
And then I've heard off and on she goes over there. I mean, but it's just something I can't really get myself upset about, and I mean, but I'm not foolish over.
As John's interview comes to an end, deputies still aren't sure what to make of him. Although he agreed to speak with them voluntarily and remains cooperative, detectives find his behavior oddly unconcerned. For now, John points investigators towards the only possible suspect he can think of, Colin Smith, a man deputies soon learn is no longer at the church. And as the church empties and the night comes to an end, detectives decide to wrap up the interviews and continue the investigation at first light. But when the community finally learns who the killer really is, they would be left speechless that someone they thought they could trust was capable of such evil.
I mean, we've got her's been brutally murdered, and here he is right in front of us. How did I miss that? How did I miss it?
They're saying that, okay, the way it looks like they're saying it could possibly be the boyfriend. Obviously, we don't know if it is or isn't because it's not confirmed yet. Because at the end, the thing is, like, there will be like conclusion at the end. I'm not gonna act like I'm a detective and try to like say who it is. Obviously, that's like, you know, that's not my job. But inference is like a thing. Whenever there's like it's also like hindsight, but there's always like situations out of your control where the person just leaves, like the person just left, like you don't know, like people just slip out and you're not paying attention, you know. It's like you don't know who's there, you haven't cased the scene, you're by yourself, you don't know anything. This is what happened, because the way it sounds like, it doesn't sound like the guy is like a local like churchgoer all the time. Maybe because they haven't said if the officers are like the actual like part of this or not.
The next morning, just as deputies prepare to head back into town, they receive a major update from the forensic team. The initial autopsy results are in. Shantae's cause of death is determined to be blunt force trauma to the head and
defensive
neck.
wounds.
Her injuries are consistent with the broken lawnmower blade found at the scene. She has no defensive wounds, while
could have been
bruising
an
on her
ambush.
arms suggests she had been dragged by the elbows. But investigators uncover something even more disturbing. Shantae's body had been violated as she was dying, or even after her death. Male DNA is recovered, giving detectives their first concrete clue about the person they're looking for. And combined with the sheer brutality of the attack, investigators begin to suspect that this was not the killer's first time, and that other victims may still be hidden somewhere.
It's a mass
At
murder.
10 a.m., deputies make their way
It's a
into
serial
town and
killer.
split up, interviewing men throughout the area and collecting DNA samples in hopes of identifying the killer. Suspecting they're dealing with a serial killer, they know they can't afford to waste time, as anyone could be a potential suspect. But the terrifying part is that they have no idea which of those encounters will be the one with the killer.
I guess you know why I'm
Hell no, bro. Imagine going to this area and they're the serial killer. What? No, you don't go by yourself. You go armed to the teeth. What? I don't care what you think it is. You go to the teeth brimmed with
Here.
everything.
Well, I'm sure that's
You go with a bazooka. What?
Yes, sir. What do you know about Shantae, sir?
I lived here about 4 years, and she
Okay.
walks up and down the streets every day.
Something was said, and I'm not sure about the source because I was just assigned to come out.
Okay.
Something.
So there's no shot he's or not rocked up in full gear, right? Surely he's rocked up in like a full like gear. Surely,
About, you know,
in
that,
case something happens. Surely.
You had said that you get excited when you see her.
There might have been a comment made to say that, you know, she's a good-looking girl, and that makes me a dirty old man. I think that's what was said. And I don't give a shit if you're male and you ain't. You're going to look at a young lady and say, well, damn, she's pretty, you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
Somebody reported a dead body hanging in there. And they got on that gate there that came open with him. He told me, he said, shoot this down the lane.
How long ago was that?
Oh, that's been
10 years.
Oh, okay.
And you just seen her and waved to
Yeah.
her. You didn't stop and talk
No,
to
didn't
her.
stop talking to him. I had to stop and talk to her in the past some. She's a good little girl.
You know, there's boys that would, you know, want to be with her, and John said that he was her boyfriend. She'd say Colin was her boyfriend.
Wow.
You never know, you know.
After speaking with more than a dozen residents, detectives uncover a troubling reality. There is no shortage of men who knew Shantae, knew her routine, and may have had the opportunity to harm her, meaning there are still too many possibilities and no clear suspect. So, in search of a breakthrough, the lead detective contacts Shantae's family and learns from her mother, Michelle, that the last person likely to have seen her before she disappeared was her closest friend, Caitlin. After getting Caitlin's address, detectives drive to her house, unaware that the woman they're about to meet may hold the key to unraveling the entire case. Because no one in this house knows Shantae better than she does, or the three strange men who had recently entered her life.
Caitlin, we're just trying to get as much information on this as we can. Will you just kind of tell me about Friday? What was she talking about?
She was talking to me about a whole bunch of different stuff. One thing that really got me was she told me her and Colin got back.
It's interesting that they're covering who they are, because obviously sometimes they don't want to show like people who are uninvolved, or like people who would like to stay private. And usually when they cover the face and like tracks of the people, it's usually to make sure that they're like not like, you know, harassed and stuff, which is usually when they're like innocent. So
together.
It's like inferred by like the video with how it's like edited. So it's like some things and like the way they edit is like based on like the things they have, or like the video that's they've given by the police, because some people are like covered by the police, so they can't like unedit the thing. So you have to like infer from the way they've given, because sometimes they're like records that aren't public and some that are. So you have to like infer from the results. And I'm assuming this videos that he does, they're all like confirmed things after the fact.
Her and her boyfriend John talked about how they broke up because she didn't like him and then said that actually Colin told her to meet him in the shed behind his house that night. Sorry.
It's okay. Take your time.
And then this guy, he drove by us in Bronco. It's white and red. You know, when you see somebody you think is really creepy, you kind of get this. He looked kind of creepy, and he waved at her, and she was like, yeah, that's so-and-so. He really tripped me out.
Caitlin points to the 3 men who may have been involved in Shantae's disappearance. John, Colin, and a 3rd man she can't remember, except for one detail, a red and white Ford Bronco. Once investigators locate the only matching vehicle registered in the area, the name comes back as Bobby Sosa. So with 3 potential suspects now at the forefront of the investigation, John, Colin, and Bobby, deputies split up and head out to each of their homes. The first team makes their way to Bobby's property, and when officers arrive, they're immediately struck by something unusual. A strong odor coming from inside the trailer.
Just
I
follow
guess
up
he's
on
a druggie.
everything. I don't think you're being, misleading with us or anything, but just for us to cover anything since the vehicle's in the area, do you mind if we go in your trailer and just make sure everything's okay and there's nobody in there?
Yeah, you can check. There's nobody in there, but it's a mess.
It's just more just to cover all of our bases.
Sure,
So
I'm
so we
saying
did.
no problem.
Any guns in there, anything like that?
No weapons.
No weapons?
Maybe a pocket knife here.
That's
there.
fine.
All right.
A pocket knife.
Like you said, not even a month.
Oh yeah.
It's a mess.
That's fine, man.
This reminds me of the one
So
in
it's
Breaking
been
Bad.
worse.
The one where they cooked the meth.
Not unless you got a hoarder around here.
Was it meth or cocaine?
Oh, we got plenty of those, man. Hoarders.
Oh, this looks almost exactly the same.
Yeah, freezer looks like it works good, man.
Runs on propane.
Do what?
It runs on propane.
Really? Yeah, as long as we're here real quick, your storage unit shed right
man.
here. Is that cool? Appreciate it, man.
You got a dog, do you?
No. That smell?
Yeah.
Coming from the RV and it's on my tanks.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, I gotta use that little thing there because I'm out of gas. Go haul it to that place down the street.
Oh, really? You gotta dump it in that and then haul it down there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm sorry about the smell.
No,
I'm trying
man.
to get everything good.
You're good, man.
Despite the strong odor on the property, which Bobby claims is gasoline, officers fail to find anything that connects him to Shantae's murder. And while officers continue questioning Bobby, another team makes its way to Colin's house. At first, they're prepared to treat him like any other potential witness, but Colin's behavior and his refusal to cooperate would soon shoot him to the top of the suspect list.
How you doing, sir? What's your name?
Colin.
You mind if you want to ride with me up to the SO and that? Yeah, and I'll bring you back.
I gotta do it.
Okay, you don't want to go with me?
I mean, it's ridiculous that I'm even being looked at. She's got a boyfriend or a husband, John Adams.
Mm-hmm.
She's like infatuated with me. She'll just walk up and down.
Did y'all have any type of physical relationship at all? Because some of the people we talked to is that y'all had a relationship at one time.
No.
So never.
No.
Okay. What kind of relationship did she and the boyfriend have?
He'd always pick her up and tell her to go get her home, and he treats her like a dog. And there's a lot of people that are kind of looking at him. I mean, it's...
Yeah, well, he's one of the people I'm gonna have to interview. Are you working anywhere right now?
I do lawn mowing out here.
Okay.
According to Colin, he never had any kind of relationship with Shantae, but detectives aren't buying it. And when the conversation turns to his job, Colin reveals he works in lawn care, giving him access to the same type of weapon detectives believe was used to murder Shantae. But seeing how defensive Colin is becoming, detectives decide to leave, asking him to come to the station the following day to provide a DNA sample and answer a few more questions. So now, with 3 key figures firmly on the investigation...
Hey, something with like the reaction, right? Usually when they have these reactions, well, like sometimes they just don't like cops, right? They don't like police. In some smaller places, never interact with cops is like the first thing, you know? You never talk to them, you never interact with them, you try your best to never even look at their direction, if you can. Like a lot of the things is like nobody likes cops, right? So just them being in like your area is like bad. Of course they have to do this because they're like something very bad that happened, obviously, unfortunately. So they have to be there just to like research these things and make sure that everything is like covered, all their bases. And this guy is like the main person they keep bringing up at all times, so they have to ask him.
Radar, detectives back at the station begin taking a closer look at each of them, and what they uncover is peculiar, to say the least. John has prior burglary and assault charges and withheld critical details about his relationship with Shantae. Bobby has a previous assault charge against a woman and was known to spend time near the area where Shantae's body was found.
Oh, hell no.
And Cullen, while having no known criminal history, has long been the subject of rumors about his violent temper. And this is when detectives realize that any one of these men could be Shantae's killer. But
or all three.
Figuring out which one will prove far more difficult than they expected. As the day comes to an end, rumors begin spreading throughout the community, and neighbors start keeping a watchful eye on one another. And with Shantae's funeral set for the following day, detectives will be doing the same, watching the crowd for a killer hiding in plain sight.
I've always had this different part of me. It just wants nothing but destruction and evil. It wanted to kill somebody.
The following morning, medical examiners released Shantae's body to her family for the funeral, but not before delivering one final unexpected update. Examiners have discovered unusual markings on Shantae's chest. Markings investigators cannot explain and believe may point to something ritualistic. To make matters even more unsettling, detectives realize Shantae had been murdered on Friday the 13th, a detail that only adds weight to this theory. But with no way of knowing whether the markings are significant or simply a coincidence, investigators file the possibility away as the community prepares to say its final goodbye. Around 11 a.m., nearly 100 churchgoers begin gathering for Shantae's funeral. The church is so crowded that some are forced to wait outside, and among them, patiently waiting, is Shantae's killer. Inside, Pastor Keener leads the service as the family and friends pay their final respects. The ceremony lasts for hours, though a handful of attendees quietly slip away before it ends, including the man responsible for Shantae's death. A short time later, Shantae's coffin is carried to Pleasant Valley Cemetery, where she's finally laid to rest, and despite all their best efforts, police fail to recognize the killer. With the funeral over, detectives turn.
That spooked me, bro. There's like, the mic is not picking it up because of the settings, because of the filters, but there's like either a fire truck, an ambulance, or a police car driving by. As soon as you start talking about police, I heard like, I can hear them. The sirens just went off. That spooked me.
Their attention back to the investigation. They call all three key suspects and ask them to come to the station for questioning. Around 4 p.m., Bobby and John are first to arrive at the station, handing over their phones to be searched for potential evidence. And as detectives sit down with both men, it quickly becomes clear that they both have some explaining to do.
Of course, I guess they told you when they downloaded the phone, they get everything. They get pictures, they get text messages, they get phone calls, all that stuff, right? And do you delete your text messages?
Yeah. But I was like long places and they put my phone up there.
No, that's not what these text messages that you deleted. And you know what I'm talking about because you even told somebody, hey, my phone's clean. What are you worried about DNA so bad about?
I'm not worried about it. I just don't like needles. I don't like drugs, things like that.
Well, she was like, I don't know why you're so worried about giving DNA.
What do you mean?
She said you were texting her and asked her, well, they want my DNA. Why did they want my DNA?
Sure, whatever.
That's what the text message just said.
That's strange.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
I smoke. I just don't want that. It's not all the time thing. I mean, like, I just might go to a friend or something like that.
We'd have nothing to do with
anything. I don't care if you smoke. I don't care if you smell. I don't care. Well, I don't care about that. I'm thinking about what we got going on.
I mean, if you smoked weed, it does nothing. Like, owning weed Like being in possession and selling it is the illegal part. Like if you smoke weed, you smoke weed. Like what are they gonna do? Nothing. You just smoked weed. Okay. Like what they can like control your body, what you put inside of it. It's only when you're like doing something that could cause other people problems when it's like illegal, like drinking and driving. Like if you're sitting in your own house and you're doing drugs and you already ingested everything, what are they gonna do? You already did it. You have nothing more. It's just ingested. What they're gonna do? Nothing.
Right now, and then we find your phone, and you knew we were fixing to look at everything, and then we find the message going, or because they can tell what's been deleted and what hadn't been deleted.
Yeah, on WhatsApp it does say that. Yeah.
Like, deleted.
The thing on like WhatsApp is even if it's like deleted, there's still a record of it that this was sent. It's still encrypted, but it's still there.
If you did have something to do with this, you need to let me know now. I would have told you day one. Okay.
I'm pretty sure one of the things, again, like I keep saying this, but one of the things is like John Kiriakou was like, oh, never put anything in text. Like he was sought by like the CIA because everything you text can be like brought up. Like even your service provider, when you text, it literally says there will be records of your phone call and your messages at all times. Like they can just get it if they need it. No, this is the thing. Like for safety, like literally, this is why. This is the reason why they have to have record of it for this exact reason.
If I've been around anything serious like that, or knew anything, or anybody, I would be.
Or knew anybody that had anything to do with it, or
anything. Because if I had anything to help out, I have nieces out there, I have my sister up there.
Until we figure out who this person is, I mean, everything's kind of, like you said, kind of on a lockdown because everybody's scared to death right now.
Yeah.
Shantae told one of the girls that she was walking with that night that she was supposed to be coming back to meet Colin Smith.
Yeah, that's what we've heard.
Would that make you jealous if she's going to go over there and meet with Colin?
Yeah, it made me jealous, but it was still considered in a way that I can't do anything about it. I mean,
so it wouldn't make you mad if she was hooking up with somebody else?
What? Lies? Lies? So you just lie? Is that your girlfriend? That's literally cheating. What?
But not to stand this far away of murdering her. I mean, I would never do that to that girl. I don't really have much family around here. My dad's in a nursing home. Sisters in Dallas.
Well, that would make it even worse, though, because the one person that you care about, if she's sleeping around with somebody else, that would, the only connection you got out here,
I'll just move on.
Upon speaking with both men, detectives notice they appear more nervous than before. That said, they also know both have prior run-ins with law enforcement and could simply be wary of being wrongly targeted. But one detail stands out. Only John appears to have deleted messages from his phone. By the end of both interrogations, only circumstantial evidence remains, so detectives release the men while instructing them to provide DNA samples. Shortly afterwards, Colin arrives at the station, and this time, things would take a very different turn. Feeling as though he may be their strongest suspect yet, investigators immediately ask him to take a polygraph test. And as they sit down with him, it doesn't take long before Colin admits he hasn't been entirely honest with them.
Whoever it is a pretty sick person, and they're still out there somewhere, whether it's a guy or a girl. I mean,
what do you think it's going to take to pass the test today?
To pass the test? What do you mean?
What do you think it's going to take to pass the polygraph?
Honesty?
Honesty, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be the...
I'm an honest person, so I hate liars, so. When she was with John, she always had ace bandages and on. Always looked like something was wrong with her.
Sure.
Was always telling me about him putting her hands on her.
Were y'all pretty sexual back then?
We had a couple times, and I told him no the other day just because I was scared.
As far as how she died, what all do you know about how she died?
Alright, this is the very first story we got, alright? It's sickening, honestly. Sorry for cussing, but it's really sick to think how many people out there have been gossiping and like making their own stories up, you know what I mean? Like,
what do you think the person that killed her is feeling right now?
I don't know.
Think they're feeling a little guilty about it? Do you think
I think it's your boyfriend, John. Only thing I can say is maybe John did it out of like a crime of passion, you know.
Interestingly, Colin admits that he was, in fact, involved in an intimate relationship with Shantae, but he insists that he has been true.
Wait, what?
Fact, involved in an Interestingly, Colin admits that he was, in fact, involved in an intimate relationship with Shantae, but he insists that he has been truthful about everything else. However, that claim would soon be put to the test when the polygraph examination begins. And
That's
before
insane.
long, something would happen that would
Oh, that's insane. Like, literally lying. Like, I actually caught lying. Like, what?
cause Colin to abruptly end the interview.
Hey, Colin, when we take this test, man, I'm starting to see some things in here that's a little bit concerning to me. You know, you got to be sure to be still when we take the test. First off, secondly, you know, you got to be keep everything the same. As far as when you're answering, there's a little bit of movement going on. Okay, so just, you know, everything you do, just be yourself. Okay, is all we're asking. Colin, what do you think the best question to ask you is going to be today?
Did I kill Shantae Blankenship?
Whether it be through strangulation, whether it be through blunt force, whether it be through whatever, did you physically cause the death of Shantae is what I'm asking, okay? So your response is no. What have you not been honest with me?
I've been honest to you about everything.
Okay, so why is it showing that you're being deceptive about this?
I guess because I don't understand how what's showing. Tell me what's showing.
You're not even showing any reactions to those questions where I'm telling you to lie about it. Where I'm telling you.
Because you told me to stay as long as I can and look at the board, so I'm just saying yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
And you know what? The reactions that we're showing on this is, man, you're off the freaking charts.
I'm telling you, I didn't do anything wrong, and I'd like to leave.
And that's up to you. I can't force you to be here, but you know you're the one that's that needs to clear this thing up.
I did come in here to clear it. I gave DNA right off the bat, the very first one to test for DNA, and I came in here willingly. This is a bunch of crap, man.
Yeah, there's the door.
I did what I was supposed to do. I was 100% cooperative.
As Colin walks out of the room, detectives begin to believe they may have found their killer. Because while Colin had been adamant that he had nothing to do with Shantae's death, his polygraph results appear to tell a very different story. His elevated emotional responses, reflected in changes to his breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, and perspiration, suggest he may not have been entirely truthful when answering questions about Shantae's death. That said, polygraph results aren't foolproof and aren't admissible in court as proof of guilt. DNA, however, is a very different story, and with DNA samples...
Also, with like polygraph things, the reason they use it is to see what, like, gauge the way of like how they respond, like case their reaction to different things. It helps you understand the type of person they are and the type of things they react to. Sometimes the adverse reaction to polygraph test is like wrong. Sometimes the thing is wrong, or they have like scared about the thing, so they like perspirate more. Like, you could literally just be asked, like, some normal question, and you could have, like, a reaction where it's like, they're asking me this, and then you start sweating because you don't know how to react, because the way you get viewed based on your reaction or just getting asked this question changes people's perception about you, because they could be, like, a simple thing. So it could be an adverse reaction, so you can't really, like, gauge it, because they could also be moving in the play. There is, like, a margin of error with the machine itself also.
Now collected from John, Colin, and Bobby, detectives believe the answer to who killed Shantae must lie with one of them. The samples are sent to the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Laboratory in Fort Worth, more than 100 miles away. And while detectives and the entire community wait for answers, the killer remains free to roam the streets. A month passes, and the DNA results finally arrive. But when the DNA profile is entered to the National DNA Database, there are no matches. No match to John, Colin, or Bobby, and no matches to any known offenders in the area. Detectives are left with a troubling possibility. Perhaps their killer wasn't a local, but someone passing through town who had already disappeared for good. More
a year and a half
year
later.
into the investigation, in October 2017, another investigator who had worked on Shantae's case, Carlisle Gover, would make an incredible discovery. While watching a true crime show, Gover learns about an emerging technology known as DNA phenotyping, a technique that had successfully solved another cold case by generating a snapshot prediction of what a person may look like using only their DNA. The next day, Gover rushes to tell the lead
That's real?
detective
What?
Scott Bird. Within hours, the
Okay, let's be
$4,000
honest. Right now, if you're in any country, pictures that are taken of you at like airports and stuff, even if you don't post it on social media, has been like insane. Like, you literally have to like before your visa, you have to do like a blood test, and like everything has to be like submitted. So they literally have it in record at this point.
needed for the
If
test.
you're traveling, you could just be a local. Then if you just like off the grid, the only thing you could have is a birth certificate. That also, depends on the hospital.
Testing is secured and the DNA is submitted. And as the
And even if you went to the hospital, like some people aren't even accounted for because they have like home births and stuff, so you can't really like figure stuff out. Even
image
if you want
slowly
to.
begins to take shape, suspects would be eliminated one by one until the true killer turns out to be someone no one ever expected.
Yeah, by the time that the Blankenship case came along, we had a couple of cases that had used the phenotyping information to help solve their cases, given the investigative capabilities that they had at that time, which were not DNA. He managed to avoid leaving any clues that got him caught. But he did leave DNA. He just didn't know that that was going to be the thing that would finally catch him.
This is Dr. Ellen Greytak, Director of Bioinformatics at Parabon Nanolabs, the company behind the snapshot technology detectives used in the hunt for Shantae's killer. Within weeks of receiving the DNA evidence, Parabon's team analyzes the sample and generates a snapshot report predicting the unknown suspect's physical appearance. And as soon as it lands on Scott Bird's desk, he immediately recognizes the man, 21-year-old Ryan Riggs. Years earlier, before entering law enforcement, Bird had taught Ryan in the 5th grade. When detectives dig deeper, they discover Ryan had been there the entire time. He was a longtime family friend, attended Shantae's funeral, rode around with John calling out her name during search parties, and even hugged her parents at the wake. Detectives now know it was all an act. A years-long act that Ryan managed to maintain perfectly. On November 9th, officers head straight to his address, but instead, they're met by Ryan's parents, who reveal that he has already fled. Within hours of the image being released, Ryan manages to slip away, and once again, police are back at square one, until the following evening at a church service when Ryan decides to do something completely unexpected.
As I do before every service, Scott, I stand in the parking lot greeting people, and there was Ryan standing there with his mother, Michelle, and he said, I'm going to turn myself in tonight. He said, I murdered her. And I said, at that point, I'm going to step out in the parking lot and call Sheriff Hill. We're going to take you to the law enforcement center. He said, yes, sir. I want to confess to them.
To detectives' surprise, less than an hour ago, Ryan had unexpectedly shown up at a Wednesday night service where
He runs away to come back, and it's the perfect timing when they get the results back. What? How?
he made a horrifying confession. He was responsible for murdering Shantae. Not only that, he had just walked into the sheriff's office alongside Pastor Keener, saying he wants to turn himself in. Baffled by the situation, detectives bring Ryan into the interrogation room, and when they sit down with him, they let him speak, trying to determine whether this young man in front of them is truly the dangerous killer they've been hunting for nearly 2 years.
So this happened on Friday the 13th. Tell me about that day. How'd you start that day?
Of course, it's Friday the 13th that people call like the scariest day, or like the cursed day, like a Michael Myers type thing, like the game.
Yeah. I don't remember how I started the day. It was just like an average
Wait, this
day
is
to me.
weird, bro. Wasn't the Wordle today the word was demon? Ugh, coincidence. Scary.
Up until
I did what I did. I had stopped and asked her if she needed a ride, and she got in my truck. And then, out of nowhere, I just put my left arm around her and began to strangle her. I went back to my truck and got a lawnmower blade out of the back of my truck. And I went back to where she was, and I beat her to death with it to make sure that she was dead. I've always had this different part of me that it just wants nothing but destruction and evil. And whenever I saw her that day, it took over. So I knew what I was trying to get. It wanted to kill somebody.
Ryan's description of what he did to Shantae perfectly matches the details from the crime scene, details that had never been made public. To detectives, it leaves little doubt that he is, in fact, the killer.
If you could say something right now to Shantae, what would you say?
That I'm sorry that I did what I did. And whatever I have coming towards me, I deserve.
What do you think you deserve?
Death for sure.
Anything else?
No.
All right, you are officially under arrest for capital murder.
With the charges laid bare, Ryan Riggs ultimately pleads guilty to the capital murder of Shantae. When news of Ryan's arrest reaches Shantae's mother, Michelle, she releases an emotional statement thanking the community for its support.
Hey everyone, I don't know if everybody knows, but we caught him. We got him tonight for a capital murder trial. God has blessed us with him, and it breaks my heart because this man went to church with her, and he's just a kid himself. I wanted everyone to know that we appreciate everything y'all have done.
In 2019, Ryan is ultimately sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But even with Ryan behind bars, the abandoned property where Shantae was found continues to haunt the town. The site became infamously known as the Haunted House. People regularly jumped the fence to explore the property, reopening old wounds for Shantae's family. Eventually, in 2025, both
right?
the house
Thank
and the storm
God.
shelter were
I was literally gonna say, just fucking bulldoze that shit. What the fuck?
demolished in an effort to finally bring peace to the community and allow it to move forward. And while this case left Texas shaken by a killer hiding in plain sight, our next case takes us to Florida, where the warning signs were always there, but no one could do anything to stop what was coming.
Or just signal 14 had a lengthy blood trail going to several.
But this is literally why I'm scared of leaving the house. On God.
Oh my God.
Inside this family home, 21-year-old Dima Tower has just committed the most heinous crime imaginable against his own parents.
Northport Police Department. I see bodies.
Lying inside are two deceased bodies with over 100 stab wounds. But the man responsible is already on the run, leading officers on a dangerous multi-hour manhunt as Dima stops at nothing to escape the country. To watch this exclusive Dr. Insanity episode, along with 3 more episodes from our new Tubi series, click the link below and check it out now for free on Tubi.
This is scary. This is very scary. Like, there's a lot of things that happen that has happened before, that have happened in the past, and it's actually like one of the scariest things that could happen or you could watch. And this is one of them. Like, you know, like I remember there was like this thing again. There was like this thing where it was like the amount of like serial killers or murderers that you walk by every day. There's a chance you walk by one at least once in your life, at least once, and that's the scariest thing ever.